Boomers versus Gen Z. Is okay boomer ageist?
I don't trust the younger generation in terms of values because I don't even think they know what it is that they value.
There's a term swirling nowadays, okay boomer.
Okay boomer.
Okay boomer trend.
It's going
Okay boomer trend.
viral.
Almost like a demeaning term to older people.
The millennials and Generation Z have the Peter Pan syndrome. They don't ever want to grow up.
This
I want to shoot.
grievance culture, as you suggest, that says that we're all owed something from the world, and if we don't get it, it's because the system has failed us.
Okay boomer, okay boomer, okay boomer, okay boomer.
It's funny, Ben Shapiro, because that's actually true and based.
Okay, boomer, why can't you love me as much as you love to share memes about minions?
My name is Mike Simpfendorfer. I'm 57 years old. I'm from Bellflower, California. I got 4 kids.
My name is Toni Jackson Walker. I'm from Los Angeles, California. I'm 65 years old.
My name's Jess. I'm 20 and I'm from Ventura, California.
My name's Corinne. I'm 21
She's just like, yep, I'm here, I'm based.
and I'm from East LA.
Hi, my name is Stefan. I'm also 21 and I am a student and artist.
I'm Bill. I am a writer and a dad of 2, and I'm a baby boomer.
Can I get my baby boomers to line up over on the left and my Gen Z over on the right?
I'm really interested to see how this goes, actually. I'm not making this a video, though. This is just like for fun on the stream. Fuck.
Okay, boomer is ageist.
Okay, boomer.
I think the phrase okay boomer is ageist because the term in itself erases the entire experience of a whole generation. If
No, it doesn't.
we
It literally doesn't.
as Gen Zers were to
The only person who stepped up is fucking Gen Zer, which is
get
hilarious.
that same energy from boomers, we would feel
These people don't believe in the concept of ageism, dude.
ostracized and we would feel marginalized.
I've never heard the term okay boomer.
I feel like it's like dismissing something that someone says, but implying to someone who's a baby boomer. Like if someone were to say, oh, I don't like Starbucks, you'd be like, okay, boomer.
Oh, that's funny to me rather than insulting.
Yeah.
I personally don't think it's necessarily ageist because being a boomer is more associated with certain behavioral patterns and mindsets and like potentially political views. So it's kind of more about the characteristics of a boomer rather than the age itself.
It's kind of like the whole back in my day type language, and our response to back in my day is okay boomer.
Well, we said that to our parents too. Do you have kids?
Yes.
Well, we all have kids. So I wouldn't say something insulting about my kids' generation because they're all Gen Z. So I love my Gen Z kids. So
Fuck yeah.
I wouldn't knock them.
Base boomer.
They couldn't help when they were born.
Older generations create problems that younger generations have to solve.
Fuck yeah. Based
Speaking for,
boomerism, dude.
At least myself and
Hold on a second. Based boomerism. Based fucking boomerism. God damn.
a lot of my close friends, I feel as though there have been a lot of issues that we've had to kind of take on, such as the environment, such as a lot of wars that we had nothing to do with, yet we have to end up with like the repercussions.
No, I would agree. And I do think that's sort of true of every generation. You have to deal with the world that your parents gave you. When my children were born, there were no cell phones. My daughter was born in 2001. And just in the 18 years, 19 years almost, that she's been alive, the whole world has changed radically. And it's been scary for us as parents.
Why is this boomer based?
My generation
Why?
technically gave that to your generation. And it has changed not only your generation, but ours too, in terms of the time that we have for each other. Everybody sitting around doing this, you know, when you're all sitting in a room together, and that's us too. If there were anything I wish we could dial back a little bit, it would be that.
Although older generations may have created those problems, I don't think they did it on purpose. Hindsight is 20/20, so once you see the effects of what you've done, I don't necessarily think it's just the younger generations cleaning up the problems. I do believe that the older generations offer support as well.
I think historically, there are issues that are inherent in each generation. Because there are certain things, there'll always be war and there'll always be poverty, but it doesn't
No.
necessarily mean that a generation created it and another generation is going to come and solve it, because I don't believe it will ever be solved in essence. It will be something that's perpetrated and ongoing.
This is a essentialist.
It's always going to be this way. My parents left problems for us to solve.
It's always going to be this way.
We're going to leave problems for you to solve.
Gobbledygook.
I think it comes down to, what do we do about it? Because it takes a lot of leadership to go, I don't think what I've been doing or been a part of has been very helpful, but I want to try to earn the right to help fix it.
Damn.
I trust
Is he gonna like reform from his Trump voting ways, or like?
the
That's just an assumption. Like.
values of the other generation.
I cannot say that. No.
Fuck yeah, dude. Cultural revolutionaries right here.
I do, just as much as I may question some of the values that they're talking about. One of the things that personally bothers me is we've allowed communism to become an acceptable thought process.
Fuck yeah.
In this country to govern us, which also tells me we haven't done our job. But yet, when you look at why is it brought up?
He's like, what?
It's because people feel enormously frustrated, and we need to address the people in our age bracket. Why are they frustrated, and how do we change some of that?
They grew up in a different world than we did.
Yes.
When I got out of college, I got a job, I got an apartment, I was able to live by myself, and you could do that then. The world that our children are coming into, it's not nearly as easy to do because of the price of housing, because of the sort of wages they can get. There aren't companies that you can go enter now at 21 or 2 and know that you're going to work for 40 years for that company.
See, he just makes a based point, but like, I would have totally pushed back on the anti-communism bullshit.
When I grew up, I knew what my beliefs and my values were going to be because my mother passed down the same ones that my grandmother had. I passed down the same ones to my son. Now,
Fucking traditionalist, dude.
I think somewhere in between the generations, between you all and us, things have changed. We've stopped talking, we've stopped saying what we value. I don't trust the younger generation in terms of values because I don't even think they know what it is that they value. Do you value another person's life? I tell my son, oh my God, one of the worst things could happen to me is someone in this generation would have to take care of me. They don't understand me. They don't know anything about me.
That goes to the prom.
What is that? What is that fucking gap? Like, what does she think we are? Like,
Which is, do you trust the other side's values? And I think of the values that you may have grown up with in terms of what you were taught about being homosexual and whatnot. 'Cause I grew up queer in a Black family. That's a whole different dynamic, and what they were taught that was brought down to them intergenerationally has been homophobia. And it's like, that's what I think of when I think of values of my elders, and I can't trust it because in terms of policy, it was your generation that got it wrong so many times and that have put LGBTQ people into a second-class status, and we're trying to get that back as our generation.
I'm not really even sure what like the values of baby boomers are, like what they would agree on are, but I do appreciate all the work that has been done for us by that generation, like civil rights, women's rights, like LGBT rights. I was born with all those rights, but it was really the people that were, a lot of them baby boomers, in those protests that got us where we are today.
I was a young gay boy and couldn't even say the word until I was in my 20s. It was the most horrible thing you could imagine growing up to be.
Like, dude just realized that guy is gay, dude.
I couldn't talk to anybody about it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gay and there's so much progress that has been made, but there's still so much to be made. When I think of values of like baby boomers, the first thing that I think of is kind of just the whole like hard work gets you pretty much anywhere mindset. And I just feel like that's so toxic because there are so many other barriers that a lot of people don't talk about. Like, if
Based, this is a based fest, dude. Why are they all based all of a sudden?
Or if you have like kids, if you don't have opportunities for education, like those three just alone will inhibit your success.
Well, I think that was true when we were young. Hard work did get you very far. My husband worked in a company which he started in his 20s and worked there for many years. It was just an established company with a retirement plan and all this sort of thing. And those don't exist anymore. Your generation doesn't have those guarantees.
And I think that is why you're seeing such a large-scale rejection of capitalism. And I don't think it's communism. I think what our generation is
I'm a communist, so like, you know.
exploring now is socialism, which is not the same as communism.
Oh, she's not as base as I fucking thought.
You guys inherited a union economy that worked for working people. We are inheriting a gig economy for subcontractors that only works for the rich and powerful. What our generation is exploring is democratizing the workplace and social justice, things like that, that are really for the people, which is at the core of what socialism is. We are growing up in a different country than you guys are growing up in, and we are looking for alternatives because we know this is not sustainable.
I believe my generation will leave the world a better place.
I hope you do.
Me too.
I plan on fighting to do our part, that when I part, that you've inherited things that have improved, and then I hope when you leave the earth, you've made it even better and handy, because if we don't, game over. And that may be a dramatic term, but I tell people, my own age, we don't have a choice. Do we leave it better or worse? It's an obligation.
Let me put it this way. You're going to know we were here. We laid a foundation.
I hate when people just talk in terms of better and worse without defining it. Like,
for you all to come and do bigger, greater things. Civil rights, women's rights, boycotts. We fought for everything. And we're still working. We're still making changes.
And I think this generation will leave making a better place because of everybody else's work. Like my family always says, like in terms of raising kids, with your parents, you take what you like and you lose what you don't. So I think we have such an advantage with the internet being able to see what was done wrong generations ago and what we can do now to fix it.
We missed you.
I want to believe that, and I have a lot of hope that we will, and I feel like we have the potential, but knowing what I know about history, a lot of what we're experiencing today are just new renditions of what we've already experienced, and we know that history repeats itself, we just don't know when to call it. And it's oftentimes when we call it, it's too late. Knowing what I know about the environment and what's really going to happen, it's like I can't realistically say that one, I, in good conscience, would want to bring a new generation into this world, and knowing that it will be a better world for them.
We can't save the world. We can only say, guess what, we were here, we made a change, we attempted to do good, and we attempted to help others and become more diverse. And if we did that, you know what? We did something. Collectively, individually, we made the world a better place.
No, I have this like teary-eyed, like, yeah.
No, you give me a hug, because
Yay.
I'm believing great things for you. I told you communication, you are so much.
That's kind of sweet, guys. Like, this one is insane. This one is crazy. But, fuck. That's attractive. What should I do? What should I do? What should I do? I mean, on like generational politics broadly, like I feel like it's kind of dumb, to be honest, like to just think of it in those terms only, because like that's not really a axis of oppression. Like that's not like boomers aren't exactly oppressing zoomers. Like the generational warfare thing is a distraction largely from like capitalism and social systems that are fucked up. So like I don't like engaging in just solely like anti-boomer action or whatever, because it's like that's not really the point. Kind of missing the point if you only think in those terms, to be honest. But however, oh, I got DMs. Yeah, that's right. Someone asked me if I think communism works on Discord. Yeah, of course I do. Do you think communism works? Yes. This was 30 minutes ago, but the yes emoji.